This is Montana Farmers Union Lunch and Learn podcast, hosted by me, Jody Cutterba. Montana Farmers Union supports its members through education, legislation, and cooperation. This bi-weekly production will help you stay informed and connected to current agriculture issues, news, and events. Hi, I'm Jody Cutterba, the Education Associate for Montana Farmers Union. Grab some lunch and let's get right into our episode, Let's Talk Annual Convention. Today, we will meet some of the Montana Farmers Union board members and hear why they're involved with Farmers Union. We will also visit the ambassadors to see why they believe you should attend convention, and we will review the highlights of the schedule. The Montana Farmers Union tentative annual convention schedule is out. Visit montanafarmersunion.com under the News and Events tab, and you'll find the annual convention. Here is a registration link and a link to the tentative agenda. There is also information about special room rates for the hotel. The location of the convention is very cool. The accommodations and most of the meetings will be held at the Grouse Mountain Lodge in Whitefish, Montana. There are double queen or king-size bedrooms equipped with TV and internet access. The facilities have an indoor swimming pool, well-equipped gym, hot tub, heated outdoor patio. Whitefish is in the northwest Montana, 15 miles north of Kalispell, on the shores of the Whitefish Lake and at the base of Big Mountain. It's close to the west entrance of Glacier National Park. There's a selection of shops, coffee houses, restaurants, and activities that visitors can enjoy. However, the Montana Farmers Union Annual Convention Planning Committee has been hard at work and has a packed schedule for you to participate in. There's a pre-convention tour on Thursday, October 17th from 1 to 7 p.m. You'll board a chartered bus and head off to see 3 member-owned operations, the Kalispell Creamery, Glacier Processing Cooperative, and the Fritz Farm Corn Maze and Pumpkin Patch. There'll be a farm-to-table dinner served. There's a limited number of tickets for this special event, so please register early. We know that the heart of family farms and ranches is family. October 17th and 18th is a statewide school holiday to allow teachers to attend their own conferences. Are you bringing your kids with you? Montana Farmers Union will hold a structured kids camp for kids ages 12 and under from 8 to 4:30 both Friday and Saturday. This camp will have some activities like learning games, coloring, and dancing to get the campers immediately excited and involved. They'll interact with cooperative games and will be played by the campers throughout the experience and between activities. There will be 3 to 6 stations of learning activities and crafts in and about agriculture. Of course, there'll be time for lunch and snacks throughout the day. When the time's up, parents can come collect their campers and the materials and projects that were completed. The schedule includes general sessions, panel discussions, and policy meetings. You can find the current policy and procedures on montanafarmersunion.com website under the legislation tab. The convention will have a vendor trade show throughout the days, Friday and Saturday. There's a silent auction to raise money for the Montana Farmers Union Foundation, which has community involvement scholarships and grants that they provide. There's a convention roadmap with a convention action plan sheet to help you prepare. Bring your business cards, stickers, farm swag, and anything else you could use to network successfully. There will be a space where you can record your farm family story with me for future podcasts. The Saturday night keynote speaker is Zach Ducheneau. Zach Ducheneau was appointed administrator for the USDA's Farm Service Agency on February 22nd, 2021. In this role, Ducheneau provides leadership and direction on agricultural policy, administering loan programs, and managing conservation, commodity, disaster, and farm marketing programs through a national network of offices. Ducheneau previously served as the executive director of the Intertribal Agricultural Council and has been with the IAC since 1990. He has also previously served as a tribal council representative for the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. He also has spent his career educating people about the critical role of improved food systems, value added agriculture, and foreign exports to respond to the enduring economic and social challenges facing Native Americans and reservations. Following Saturday night's dinner, there'll be entertainment from Rob Quist, an American musician and politician from Cutbank, Montana, known for his work in bluegrass and country music. Quist plays the guitar and banjo and is an accomplished singer and songwriter. Hi, Mary. Welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
Good morning, Jody. I'm great. Thank you very much.
I know today you're joining us from Washington, D.C. You're there for the fly-in. I hope everything's going well for you.
Yes, I am in Washington, D.C. I'm very excited to be here for the Montana Farmers Union fly-in.
So, let's talk about convention a little bit. Who should attend our Montana Farmers Union annual convention?
Jody, this is my second convention, and so I can talk about what I saw last year and what I'm hoping for this year. The folks that I hope to attend this year are those who are members, of course, and possibly people who are interested in what we stand for. And I would like to also see people who are interested in making changes to our policies and gaining information about the agriculture industry as a whole, because we have some fabulous speakers who will be at the 2024 convention in Whitefish.
Wonderful. So you have kind of a special role when it comes to annual convention. You're our event planner extraordinaire. I've had the pleasure of attending several events that you have coordinated for your local area. And so looking at the things that have been put together for annual convention is something I'm really excited about. Um, so, what's the purpose of holding an annual convention?
I love planning events, and planning events for Montana Farmers Union has been something that I've really enjoyed. I've been doing this for about 1 year now. And the purpose of attending the convention is for gaining information about the agricultural industry, what's going on with Montana Farmers Union, meeting up with other members, visiting with your ambassador, and working with our policies, and just overall, I would say some social time. We have lots of opportunities for educational sessions and policy meetings. There is a special breakout session with our ambassadors, and the pre-convention tour on the 17th will be informative, but also an entire afternoon and evening full of time for visiting with your fellow members across the state of Montana.
So, one of the things that I know you've worked pretty hard on is the food for the annual convention. And obviously, feeding that many people is always an issue. But you've incorporated a lot of local food. Can you give us a little background and what to expect?
Sure. The Grouse Mountain Lodge and Montana Farmers Union have been working on the food for the convention since, well, for actually months now. We have asked the Grouse Mountain Lodge to try to procure all of their food as locally as they possibly can. And they have been very, very good to work with on this. The property folks, the event coordinator, and the chef have been very open to doing just exactly what we've asked. We have connected them with the Glacier processing facility. And so some of our animal proteins will be sourced from Glacier processing. And we also understand that they are currently working with the Western Montana growers. And so our produce will be sourced from the Northwestern growers that are associated with the Western Montana growers. I do also think that one of our desserts will be sourced from 41 Grains using their brownie mix. And I do believe we're going to be using the Kalispell Creamery ice cream. So as much as possible, we are sourcing as much as possible, our food from the Montana producers for the 2024 convention.
So is that a big jump for them, or have they used local producers before?
They had been using some local producers. The introduction to Glacier processing was a new connection, and I'm hoping that by having that door opened, it will stay open, and they'll in the future continue working with Glacier processing.
So as you prepare for convention, what is something that you are looking forward to personally?
Personally, the part of the convention that I am most excited about is the pre-convention tour. It will be on October 17th, which is Thursday. It starts at 1 o'clock, and we'll be getting on a bus, and we'll be touring Glacier Processing Facility, and then we'll be going to Kalispell Creamery, and then we're going to end at the Fritz Farm, where they have a corn maze. And also at the Fritz Farm, we'll be having a completely locally sourced dinner. And I'm looking forward to touring those three businesses who are all Montana Farmers Union members, and having an entire afternoon with the ambassador team, the other staff from Farmers Union, and all the members who are going to join in. The second favorite part of, or the second favorite thing I'm looking forward to is just the overall camaraderie and visiting with the members from across the state of Montana. It's always valuable as an ambassador to listen in, to hear what our members would like in their regions, and what they would like overall as my job as an ambassador.
So as people prepare for convention, what can an attendee expect for general sessions, panel discussions, policy meetings? What kinds of things should members prepare for?
Members should look forward to learning about, well, for example, one of our panels is going to be about local food systems. And we have a very fantastic group of people who are going to be sitting in on that panel with an excellent moderator. So learning about our local food systems across the state of Montana will be, I think, a very interesting panel. And I mean, that's what we all do. We raise food for people. So I think a panel about local food systems will be incredibly interesting and good information. Regarding our general sessions, I love to listen to our general sessions personally, and I think there's always information that is provided that is very new to me, and some of it is a good refresher as well. And then Once again, the policy is one of the main points of our convention. And so if someone has something to bring to the policy meeting, that would be something to prepare for specifically, and to review our policy book, and just, if there's anything that they would like to have restated or added into that, that would be something that they would truly need to prepare for.
So you have obviously attended conventions, not only farmers union conventions, but other things. One of the things that I find fascinating as I talk to our ambassador team is not only are they ambassadors for farmers union, but many of them are local producers. So what do you produce, and how are you involved in your local food system?
I own a business called Montana Lamb and Beef, and it is a direct-to-consumer business that sells beef and lamb directly to consumers. And I raise belted Galloways for this particular program. And then the sheep that I sell in this program are raised by the E.L. Peterson Ranch just north of Judith Gap. And I also sit on the steering committee for a food hub that is getting going in Lewistown. So anything food related is one of my passions.
Thank you. I just think it's so fascinating how each person is involved in the agricultural system. So as you prepare for these conventions and conferences, do you have a best pre-convention planning or packing tip for all of us?
A pre-convention packing tip would be to wear comfortable clothes and definitely comfortable shoes. And that's probably about it.
I totally agree. So, as we wrap up here today, you've given us lots to think about and lots to look forward to. Do you have any final words of advice for those who plan to attend annual conference?
If you're planning on attending the annual conference, I would strongly suggest that you give some thought to attend the pre-convention tour, which is on Thursday, which requires coming to Whitefish one day early. If you do want to come one day early, the Grouse Mountain Lodge has offered the block room rate for if you want to come early or stay late. So they've offered that special rate for people who are arriving early or want to stay a little bit late. And I think the pre-convention tour will be a fantastic way to get started off into the convention, which officially starts on Wednesday and then ends on the conclusion of our Saturday night's programming.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Mary.
Thank you, Jody.
In late June, we held a board meeting at Arrow Peak Lodge at the Arrow Peak Camp in Highwood. We were so lucky to get to have in detail introductions of each of the board members who were present at the meeting. I am fortunate today to get to share with you some of these introductions. Please welcome our Montana Farmers Union Board of Directors. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Walter Schweitzer, the elected president of Montana Farmers Union, now serving his third term. He and his wife, Cindy Palmer, are ranching in the Geyser area.
I've been a Farmers Union member my whole life. My first memories of Farmers Union was as a little kid going to Farmers Union picnics at our locals. And it was, the first time I realized there was even any other kids my age. Because, you're stuck on a farm, right? And it was like, oh man, there's other kids my age. Probably in mid 90s, early 2000s, we were finding ourselves at Farmers Union sponsored events. Was it something about water rights? Was it something about gas and oil mineral rights? Was it something about solar or renewable energy? It just seemed like the events that we were finding time to go to were Farmers Union sponsored events. And so then we started getting a little bit more active in Farmers Union. Um, we were, Alan Merrill called us and said that, you know, there's this Farmers Union leadership couples thing that we believe we want you to do. And, you know, both Cindy and I said, well, yeah, but we're not young couples. This is not something for us. And he convinced us that yes, it was. And so then we participated in the Fuel Leadership Program. And I always knew about Farmers Union because I grew up in it, but I had no idea about FUE, FUI, and the things that they were involved in. Really, how I came to this position was some of the board members had encouraged me to run for this position. And I can't thank them enough. It's been pretty much one of the funnest things I've done. This whole.
It's the only time Walter's enjoyed a job more than 2 years.
That's politics at the grassroots level. That was Farmers Union. That's what Farmers Union meant to me. I think that the new life that Farmers Union has, the new excitement that it has, and the energy is getting people like Kara and April and Trent to re-engage, Mark Sidarius to re-engage. What a great organization. And there's just no way, I think there's no way they could have foresaw what this organization has become. It is a national organization that is the largest and is the oldest, that represents the family farm. And really, there isn't any other organization that can say that.
I want to say that we have a well-educated board. It's not a bunch of people that just fell off the turnip truck. There's a lot of them with university degrees, and a lot of them, they're smart people on this board. And, you know, I got a degree in engineering, and I know Raleigh and other people got Raleigh's. There's a lot of them with university degrees. And so it's not a bunch of people that fell off the turnip.
Welcome to Sig Rudy, a Montana Farmers Union member for over 40 years. He's currently the board member representing Districts 3 and 4 at large from Fairview, Montana. He's retiring from the board at the annual convention in 2024.
I became a Farmers Union member, and I just felt that I needed to be represented by a farm organization, and Farmers Union fit my agenda. So I got on, became a member, started going to conventions, and it wasn't long I was on when Bud Daniels was president, we had the President's Committee. And it wasn't long I was on the President's Committee, and there's other board members that also served on that committee. And then I went from the President's Committee to the board. And that time we had a big board, like 17 members, which is too big. And then we went down, and now we went back up a little again. But so I've seen the organization go through many cycles, and some of them are good, some of them were not. And right now we're in a cycle that we're doing real good. we're in an upswing and things are happening and the organization is really moving forward now.
Ben Peterson is the District 5 and 6 at-large representative. He's from Judith Gap, Montana, producing beef, sheep, hay.
Important things for farmers union for me is to make agriculture an attractive thing, so I'm not the last one. To make sure somebody else gets to do it. It's been recorded before, but if agriculture, we are not great at blowing our own horn because we tend to be a little bit isolated. And we're also not good at getting together and saying things. So our political voice isn't great. But many voices said as one voice is much more important than one voice, and we can have a much larger impact. Because there's so many fewer of us than there is for the rest of us, or the rest of the population. So being able to have our voices amplified through Farmers Union is extremely important. And that's why I'm here.
Eric Sommerfeld is the District 2 representative and Teton County local president from Power, Montana. Eric produces small grains like barley, a few cattle, and some hay.
Brooks Daly appointed me to the President's Committee after Dell left and Brooks became president. Got put on the Beef Council as our Beef Council rep, and then got elected, I think the year after that, to the board, and have been there since. So however many years that is, not positive, but been involved ever since.
Raleigh Schlepp is vice president of the board of directors. He will end his term this year and is up for election. Raleigh is from District 2 in Conrad, Montana. They have a cow-calf operation, grow wheat and barley, and have a seed business.
We get things done together. My wife is also from the Farmers Union family. And they were also instrumental in doing that in their part of the world, which is 25 miles north of where we live. I think it's important to be a member of an organization like this because you have a group of people which are that have like minds, and you can get more done with more people. I think it's important to look back at where you came from and be thankful for the people who had the entrepreneurship and the ingenuity to start what we have today. It's important that agriculture gets our word out because we are becoming a bigger minority every year. And you can just look in Montana in general, the number of large operators compared to what it was 50 years ago is tremendous. So, and they're the ones that don't really worry about things. We're the ones, the smaller producers, that worry about agriculture in general.
Brett Daly is the District 4 representative from Jordan, Montana. He raises cattle and small grains.
Their ideals to what is reality to us as producers is you can't even explain it. They're just on a whole different wavelength. So us back there pounding on them and explaining our needs and things that will benefit us here, and just keep reminding them how, the importance of what we do here and our lifestyles and our families, and hopefully we can continue on doing this for generations to come, because without any food, there's not enough other countries in the world to feed us. In the years that I've been involved with Farmers Union, I've been fortunate enough to serve on the Beef Council, as did Eric, and certainly enjoyed that. Along with that, I served on some national committees within that. And now the new venture I'm doing is Wheat and Barley Committee, and soon to sit on some of the other committees at a national level with it too. All of it because of Farmers Union, and very important to producers within the state here and in other places also.
So I'm Kara Ronan, for those of you who I haven't met yet. I got involved with Farmers Union not too long ago, just a few years ago, about 3 years ago, when we moved back to my grandparents' place to take it over. My great grandparents, when Rachel and Skylar came out to do a family egg spot, we found my great grandma's memoirs that she wrote in all about Farmers Union and going to the DC convention, which is pretty cool. So our family definitely has deep roots, though I haven't been as involved, and just kind of joined in the last 3 years and hit the ground running as best as I could and signed up for everything I could, and really enjoyed being part of policy committee last year, and hopefully we'll get to continue to do that. And despite thinking that Walter was just playing a giant prank on me up until yesterday when I got the official news, I'm excited to be stepping into the role with Sarah and serving as the next gen ambassador for this year on the advisory committee, and looking forward to that. Still don't think it's real, waiting for Walter to call me and tell me it was just a giant mistake or joke, but
April Martin is from Southeast Montana. She ranches, raising cattle and their feed. April also does some direct consumer beef and has a retreat center.
I got to go to Scottsdale this year, and I was so impressed at what I saw. I was just walking around with a smile on my face the whole time. Just so curious about what's going on, and I really like what I hear. I have a kind of a retreat center and a community resource center here in southeastern Montana. And it's kind of whatever is going on in our community. I could host either women's groups or men's groups or combination. And one of the things that I found myself doing a lot was informational, like weed boards, rosebud weed board come up, and different things like that when they were trying to get information out to the community. And we needed my facility to do it, and we did it pretty well. And I also run a book club every year. And I like to read. And then I heard about somehow or another Rachel's book club. And I said, oh, I want to join the book club. And she goes, well, you're not a member. And I was like, how can this be? So I talked to my insurance agent, and she goes, yep, got you signed up now. And so I've been doing the book club with Rachel. But what really struck me when I worked with Rachel was that it was really fresh. It was really new and exciting. If you had a question, she got right back to you. And I thought, I like this organization. And the more I was around it, the more I liked it. And then I ran into Sarah and Tammy at another function. And I just thought, I think I found the people that I want to be around. I can learn from them. And so I'm just really happy to be here.
Miss Rachel Prevost, the membership director for the Montana Farmers Union. Rachel has worked for MFU for 3.5 years, serving in many roles on the Montana Farmers Union staff. She has been the lobbyist, assistant camp advisor, and currently serves as the Government Affairs and Membership Services Director. She also coordinates the ambassador team. Rachel is from Lambert, Montana. She grew up on a family farm and ranch where her family grows grains and raises beef cattle. Well, hello again, Rachel. How are you?
Hello, Jody. How's it going?
It's good. It's good. Who should attend the annual convention?
Yeah, so our convention coming up October 17, 18, 19th in Whitefish is for members of Montana Farmers Union. It's for people who are curious about what Montana Farmers Union has been doing, whether they're curious about joining, or they're a family farmer and rancher who's looking for some community, or a rural advocate who is wanting to learn more about ag policy, rural policy. That's a great place to find information. Our convention is a great place for that. And our members, and you come and you find new friends and old at our convention. And so it's just a great place to find community with family farmers and ranchers.
Eleanor Dutton is the ambassador for Eastern and Southeastern Montana. She resides in Forsyth. Eleanor has coordinated the collection of donations for the silent auction at convention. Who should attend the Montana Farmers Union annual convention and why?
anyone and everyone who wants to support vibrant and strong agriculture production through family and locally owned operations. I think we all eat, and so we are all involved in agriculture, and to be informed and involved about agriculture is the best thing you can do, especially living in Montana. So it's open to members, non-members, anyone who eats should be present.
Samantha Ferret is the membership ambassador for the Missouri Headwaters Area 2. She is a beef producer and produces small grains and hay. Well, welcome to the podcast. I know this is your first appearance. What would you recommend to attend a Montana Farmers Union annual convention, and why?
Oh, I would really encourage any and all Montana Farmers Union members and their friends. I think it is a worthwhile afternoon and days of networking with others and learning more about what Montana Farmers Union does and can do for all of rural Montana. I think that young folks should come to convention. I think that we need an influx of beginning farmer and rancher type age groups, and even those in my age group. I'm not that young, but I would love to see more people, more of my peers involved at convention. So.
What is the purpose of holding an annual convention?
Yeah, so this is an awesome opportunity to get the membership together. We can talk about all the things that have been happening in the year. We kind of report on the year in the past, and we bring people together for educational opportunity. And then we get to, look forward to the future. We really get to brainstorm and talk to our members and really hone in on what's important to our membership. I think it's an awesome opportunity to, get our leadership together, and members have the chance to meet their staff that work in our communities. And so there's just a lot of opportunity and a lot of history, in gathering as a Farmers Union membership. 109 conventions. Our history is long running, over 100 years in Montana. And so it's just this long running tradition too of bringing family farmers and ranchers together to make good policy and to talk about making good change in our communities.
What should an attendee expect during a general session?
Yeah, so when you come to our convention, you'll see on the agenda, there's some different types of sessions. And so we have like general session, we'll have educational sessions, we'll have policy sessions. And so when we talk about a general session, that's typically kind of the meat and bones, the meeting of the meeting. So we're looking at business updates. We'll have different report outs from organizations. Like we'll have our credentials and resolutions committee will introduce any bylaw changes if there are any. This is where we kind of do that meat and potatoes business of our convention, but really a super important part of what we do. So this isn't necessarily where we do, like, some of the sessions are called third general session, second general session, and those also have policy discussions in them as well. So it kind of just depends at what session we're at, but that first session at our convention is very much a welcome session. We go through kind of the plan for convention. Members get to look at the rules of convention, and we get to look at, there'll be like an audit report out. We'll hear from somebody on the beef council. And so we'll just have kind of that business part of our convention, kick it off, and then there'll be a few sessions following that.
So there are several panel discussions on the agenda. What can an attendee expect a panel discussion to look like or feel like?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty exciting thing that we have so many panels this year, because I think a panel offers a lot of engagement opportunity for our members. And the more speakers you have, the more diverse discussion and ideas that are offered during our convention, and just a better chance for our members to go chat with any of those panelists. So we've got a couple different panels this year. I think you can expect not only resources and ideas, but finding community with others who are doing a lot of similar work to you or working in things that you've been curious about. You can kind of get an inside glimpse. We'll have a panel from the Montana Farmer Veteran Coalition. This will be their first in-person stakeholder meeting. We're partnering with them. So we'll get to hear more about what that coalition is all about, and what it is about being a veteran and also being in family farm agriculture. So we're pretty excited about that. We're going to have our panel on local food system infrastructure and development. So we've got some experts in the area, from cooperative all the way through the more infrastructure-y side of things, if that's the best way to say it. So we'll hear from experts, and then we'll actually, the one I'm really excited about is the Beginning Farmer Rancher panel. It's, going to be a collection of entities, organizations, agencies who work on programming specific toward beginning farmers and ranchers. And so this is to support those BFR folks who are looking for education, they're looking for loans, they're looking for grants, they're looking for community. And so that panel should leave people with some pretty good resources on all of those subjects.
One of the major activities are policy meetings. Can you give us a little bit of background of what a policy meeting looks like, feels like, how we should prepare for them, what we can do to participate?
Yeah, so policy meeting, that's one of our triangle pillars. That's that legislative side of things. This is how we develop the policy that guides what happens in our legislative efforts. That's the cool part about Farmers Union. Like, everything that comes out of our policy is very grassroots driven. It's brought to us by the membership, goes through our grassroots policy committee, and then voted on by the membership at convention. And so our policy sessions actually are kind of the policy committee. We have a bunch of members that will be getting together in the coming weeks here, and they'll be reviewing the policy book and listening to presentations of policy presentations from members to see if our policy is still meeting the needs of the membership. And so we will be doing that review prior to convention. And then any of those changes will get presented to the body, the voting body. So that's any member who comes to convention and meets that voting criteria. And so when you walk into convention, we'll have that space set aside in the agenda. When we go into that policy space, we'll pull up the documents changed on the screen. Most people will be sitting in like a classroom style. There'll be a microphone in the middle. And we'll have our chair, which is board member Eric Sommerfeld this year. He will be guiding us through all the presented proposed changes. And that's where the beauty of being a member of Farmers Union and being able to make your voice heard comes in, because you can stand up and you can discuss and debate and ask questions about why this change is happening or why it's not happening this way, or if you don't necessarily feel like that's serving the needs of the membership. That's where you stand up and you make your voice heard. Just a few process things. If you do stand up at the microphone, it's awesome if you obviously introduce yourself with your name and the county that you're from. That just helps everybody in the room know where you're coming from. And then, the chair will recognize you to speak. And then the, debate and discussion can go from there. So myself, I will be the staffer who will be mostly involved with the policy sessions. At any point in time, if any member has questions about a certain policy change or a process part of policy, I'm more than happy to help. We've got plenty of board members that could do that as well.
On the convention schedule, there is a session about FUEL, or fuel. I know you have spent some time recently with that group of people. Can you tell us a little bit of background and what that is?
Yeah, so FUEL, Farmers Union Enterprise Leadership Program, is a leadership program that Montana, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wisconsin send a couple members through every year. These folks get together. Currently, it's about 3 times a year, and we work on leadership skills together. We start at the national convention in wherever it is for National Farmers Union, and then we end up doing a summer stop at one of those 5 states. And then we end at the DC fly-in. So it's a pretty cool program. Those are the stops that are included. We focus on storytelling. We focus on advocacy. We get the chance to look at agriculture in other states and do tours. It's a pretty cool chance to get a little bit out of your comfort zone and like build on some leadership skills if that's something you've been looking to do. You'll be with, a group of other, people who are looking to do the same thing. So it's one of those environments that when you get into it and everybody's talking through leadership skills and talking through their legislative advocacy, or they're talking through like their story for their farm and their ranch, whether they're trying to market products better or they've faced some tough times. Pretty inspiring to be with those people. And so we'll just hear a brief report out from our fuel attendees kind of about their experience this year. And then we'll have the application actually open for the next fuel cohort while we're at convention. And so if you're curious or interested in representing MFU in the fuel program, the application is going to be available.
You've given us a lot of information about convention. We're going to get a little bit personal here.
man.
I'm going to put you on the spot. What convention will this be for you?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So my first convention was in 2021. So I guess this will be my fourth convention with Montana Farmers Union, which is crazy how time flies. But it's one of my favorite times of year. Not only do I get to see all of our remote staff that get to be in the field all year, we get the chance to be together and reconnect. But we get to see board members and longtime members and new members and friends. And so this is my fourth convention, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Have you attended convention before?
Yes, I have. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make last year's convention, 2023, because an ice storm kept me home. I didn't want to drive to that one. But yes, I've been to 2 previous conventions during my time here with MFU.
Yes, I've actually been to the last 2. Last year it was in Great Falls, and the year before was in Helena. So I got to attend both of those.
What is your best or favorite memory from one of the conventions you've attended?
Oh man, they're all great. I think when I think about what's the thing that stands out the most to me, last year we were fortunate to have Sarah Vogel join us for the keynote address at our convention, and we had the chance to have her sign books after her keynote address. She's the author of The Farmer's Lawyer. Highly recommend it if you haven't read it. It was our very first book club selection, actually. And so I got the chance to sit with Sarah and flip open the cover while she signed books. And we were just able to chat and talk about her life and her experiences. And I'm very inspired by the work that she did for family farmers and ranchers during the 80s farm crisis. And so that was just something that has always stuck with me. And what an amazing chance to meet such a cool lady, but also be able to share that with our membership.
Hands down, listening into the policy debates during the policy sessions, it was so encouraging and uplifting to hear people invested in agriculture talk about pertinent issues and what they wanted MFU to focus on with the legislative session. It was just so refreshing to see and hear that people actually cared and wanted to make a positive difference. That was, for me, the best highlight.
Oh, well, I really love convention. I love conventions in general. I just really like learning more and connecting with other agriculture producers. But I guess one of my best memories are the policy debates. They're really invigorating, and you learn a lot. I really like that, and I love the food. I love that we feature locally sourced food as much as we can at the convention. So I think that's really special.
What are you most looking forward to for the 2024 convention?
Yeah, I'm super excited to be hosting it in Kalispell this year. I'm excited for our membership to see that area of agriculture. I'm also really excited to we've got a really awesome pre-convention farm tour that I'm pretty excited about. We've got we'll be to Kalispell Creamery, Glacier Processing, and then ending at Fritz Farm Corn Maze. That's going to be really neat to see that farm to table right away at the start of our convention. And I'm pretty excited about our policy discussion. We've got a legislative session coming up in 2025, and I want to know what's important to the membership. I want to know what's things that we should be focusing on as we lead into this upcoming legislature.
Something new that we're doing, actually, it's the ambassador roundtables. And I'm looking forward to sitting down with members from my area and getting to hear feedback and set goals with them about what they want to see and do in Eastern area and how I can be a better membership ambassador. So getting their feedback, listening to them, and then just having that continuous dialogue that hopefully will carry into 2025 and what I can do for them as a membership ambassador.
When you travel, what is your best pre-convention or planning or packing tip?
Oh, this is a great question. So I'm a notorious overpacker, so I'm probably not going to share any packing advice. But I think the best thing that you can do in terms of preparing for convention, I always recommend bring a light sweater because convention spaces tend to get a little bit chilly sometimes. So if you're a person that runs a little cold, bring a light jacket or a light sweater. But take a look at our agenda in advance and highlight anything that really speaks to you. And whether that's a speaker, whether that's a topic, and find your local ambassador because we can probably connect you directly to that person. There's a good chance that we can help you network in a way that makes you feel like you've gotten the most you can get out of convention. But come into it with a very open mind, a very an attitude where you're looking to learn. I think that helps people have a better experience too, because there's just this great community where we're all together, and when we're all in that headspace, there's a lot of powerful change that can happen.
Definitely look over the policy book before you come. It's free on a PDF. Anyone can access it off of our website. But just take a minute and flip through it. Look at the past legislative priorities. Look at some of the different areas of interest. It's grouped into categories that are pretty easy to navigate. And that way it's not so overwhelming or distracting when you're in the policy session and trying to follow along or figure out what's happening, because that happened to me the first year that I was there. I made the mistake of not being familiar with a policy book, and I really wished I had done that. So I would recommend go through the policy book, and if you see anything that you want to change or you think MFU should do differently, then inform the policy committee or any of the MFU ambassadors, and we'll get you connected to how you can help change that.
Be open-minded about attending convention and be willing to talk with those who might not always think the way that you do, because there might be a different way to look at things for the better. Just that networking aspect of it is really powerful. And I think gaining friendships throughout Montana and networking with people who are doing similar or maybe really different things than you, but still in agriculture, can be really powerful for all of us.
I heard that you coordinated the silent auction and the donations. What is the purpose of the silent auction?
The silent auction, all those funds will be going towards the MFU Foundation. And the MFU Foundation works a lot to support and give out scholarships, not only to students, but also college students to attend ag science programs, etc., for higher education. We also do a lot with community grants, ranging from $500 to $10,000, really. It's a very wide spectrum, but any community project like a community garden or greenhouse, or going for farm to school funding to get local beef into schools and kitchen remodels, it goes towards a lot of ag-related activities as well as projects. So it's really great for not only rural communities, but also ag individuals and people who want to learn more and participate more in agriculture.
So is there anything really cool that you can give us a sneak peek that's available in the silent auction?
The last time I checked, there was a wonderful I guess from skincare and makeup product baskets from Emu Productions up in Kalispell. Actually, they were very generous with that. So natural skincare products that to me would be really great. But anything from kids' toys to jewelry and to actual cuts of beef that are from quality producers. So full range of anything that you want. It's a lot of fun to see. But it is tax deductible for businesses. So that's another incentive to donate and to help support the foundation.
Are there any final words of advice or wisdom that you'd like to share with those who plan to attend the Montana Farmers Union Annual Convention?
Yeah, I think the most exciting about convention is this is where you can come and make your voice heard. And so don't be afraid to talk to your board member, talk to your ambassador, ask questions. This is where we make a lot of not only lifelong friends and lifelong community projects kind of get started at, these type of meetings. But this is for people to feel refreshed and recharged with Farmers Union. And so I hope that's what we can provide for you at our convention.
Take advantage of all of the resources and opportunities that will be at your fingertips during convention. In the swag bags, we will have so many different resources about how to have a successful and productive convention and how to make the most use of your time, to the vendors that are available, to taking advantage of the different speakers and connecting with them at our social happy hours. I think it can be a bit overwhelming at how much information is thrown at you at convention, but don't be scared of it and take advantage of the resources, because MFU and what we do is we're here to help and support people in agriculture.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your advice and your time. It was great to visit with you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jody. I appreciate it.
Register now to attend the 109th Montana Farmers Union Annual Convention in Whitefish, Montana, October 17th, 18th, and 19th. Visit MontanaFarmersUnion.com under the News and Events tabs to find the annual convention information. Get ready for convention by reviewing the agenda, the convention roadmap, and completing the convention action plan sheet. I'm excited to see each and every one of you in Whitefish in mid-October. Montana Farmers Union Lunch and Learn podcast is a resource for agricultural producers, support industry, and consumers. Join MFU today and make your voice heard advocating for family farms, ranches, and rural communities. Visit MontanaFarmersUnion.com, MFUMT on Instagram, or Montana Farmers Union on Facebook to see events and opportunities.